In the wake of Sauron's fall, when the fires of Mount Doom consumed the One Ring, the world of Middle-earth began to heal, but one question lingers in the shadows of this grand saga. What became of the Orcs? These twisted creatures, born from the darkness of Morgoth's corruption, had always been a source of terror and suffering. With their master gone, what was left for them in a world that had shifted beyond recognition? Were they simply vanquished, or did they too undergo a transformation? The fate of the Orcs is a story forgotten by most, yet it is a tale brimming with complexity, filled with unresolved questions and possibilities. Join us as we embark on a journey through the post-War of the Ring, where ancient evils meet the fragile hope of redemption. What truly happened to the Orcs after the Ring was destroyed, and where do they stand in the new world that emerged from the ashes of war? Before we dive deeper, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Share with us in the comments below, and let's connect over our shared love of Middle-earth and its mysteries. And if you enjoy these deep dives into the rich lore of Tolkien's world, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Your support helps us continue our exploration of these ancient and timeless tales. The War of the Ring was a cataclysmic event. Armies clashed, kingdoms fell, and empires of old crumbled under the weight of Sauron's ambition. But in the midst of it all, the Orcs remained, lurking in the shadows of Mordor, their sinister forms a testament to the power of darkness. When the ring was destroyed, the Dark Lord himself perished, leaving behind only the ruins of his once mighty domain. With the central force that drove them vanquished, what happens to a people forged in his image? Tolkien, through his writing, offered no clear answer. While we know much about the end of Sauron's reign, the Orcs' fates remain shrouded in uncertainty. After the destruction of the ring, Middle-earth was forever changed. But what role did the Orcs play in this new world? Let's explore this further, diving into the world of lore, the psychology of these creatures, and the deeper layers of what it means to be an Orc in a world where evil no longer holds sway. The Orcs were created long before Sauron's rise to power. As explained in the Silmarillion, they were corrupted elves twisted by Morgoth, the first Dark Lord, and were bred for war and destruction. Sauron, Morgoth's lieutenant, would later use them as tools to further his own agenda. Their existence was bound to evil, and their hatred of the free peoples of Middle-earth became their identity. However, as the shadow of Mordor waned, a power vacuum was left behind. With Sauron's death, the Orcs were left scattered, leaderless, and without the driving force that had once united them under one banner. The question arises, did they simply cease to exist, lost in the winds of change? Or did something more subtle occur? Tolkien's works give us little direct information about the immediate aftermath of the Orcs' fall, but certain clues in his writings offer a deeper understanding. In The Lord of the Rings, we learn that after the defeat of Sauron, many Orcs retreated into the wilderness, while others were hunted down by the victorious free peoples. Some Orcs, like those who remained in Mordor's farthest corners, may have continued to live on, hiding and surviving in the shadows of a world that no longer needed them. The Orcs, at their core, are a tragic race. They were born from corruption, forced into a life of violence and subjugation. While many see them as mere monsters, the truth is more complicated. Orcs are not inherently evil. They are in many ways a reflection of the suffering that shaped them. In Tolkien's world, they serve as a dark mirror to the free peoples of Middle-earth, forever torn between their inherent nature and the circumstances they find themselves in. After the fall of Sauron, what is left for the Orcs? Do they, like Gollum, seek redemption, or do they spiral further into violence and madness, unable to escape the shadow of their creator? One of the most interesting aspects of the Orcs' post-war fate lies in this psychological dilemma. In the years following the War of the Ring, there are hints that some Orcs may have sought redemption. The Black Riders, for example, were remnants of a dark past, yet even they were capable of moments of doubt. But redemption is a complex concept, especially for creatures as deeply corrupted as the Orcs. Can they overcome their hatred, or will they be doomed to repeat the cycle of destruction? The aftermath of the War of the Ring is not the first time in Middle-earth's history that creatures of darkness have been left to their own devices. In the aftermath of the First Age, When Morgoth was cast into the void, many of his followers were left scattered, leaderless. Some of them, like the Balrogs, were hunted and destroyed, while others retreated into the deep places of the world, waiting for the chance to rise again. This pattern of destruction and survival is not unique to the orcs. It echoes throughout the ages of Middle-earth. After each fall of darkness, whether it be Morgoth's or Sauron's, there are always those who survive, who find new ways to endure. In this sense, the fate of the orcs is not an isolated incident. It is part of a broader pattern in Middle-earth's history. Some theorists argue that the orcs, after the War of the Ring, could have integrated into society, much like the Uruk-hai did to a certain degree under Saruman. It is possible that some orcs, once their need for war and violence was gone, could have found new purposes for their lives. Could there have been peaceful orcs, trying to find a place in a world that had no room for them? Others suggest that the orcs, in their twisted forms, were beyond redemption. They were irrevocably shaped by Sauron's will, and thus, even without a master, their primal instincts would have led them to chaos and destruction. Would the orcs ever truly be free from the corruption that birthed them? Or was their fate sealed the moment they were made? The ultimate question lies not in what happened to the orcs, but in what they represent. The orcs are a manifestation of the idea that evil is not always a force of absolute malice, but rather a product of suffering, manipulation, and despair. In the end, the orcs are not just monsters to be destroyed. They are a reflection of the deep, unhealed wounds of Middle-earth. Their survival or destruction is not just a question of whether they live or die. It is a question of how society heals from the ravages of war. Perhaps the true fate of the orcs lies not in their own lives, but in the lives of those who survived the War of the Ring. Can Middle-earth ever truly heal from the scars of this war? Or will the cycle of violence continue, with new generations of orcs rising to take the place of their forebears? Only time will tell. The fate of the orcs after the War of the Ring is one of the most intriguing mysteries in Tolkien's legendarium. While the destruction of Sauron's power marked the end of an era, it didn't necessarily mean the end for his creations. The question of whether the orcs could find redemption or if they were doomed to their nature is one that continues to haunt the shadows of Middle-earth. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the lore of Tolkien's world, be sure to explore our other videos on Middle-earth's most enigmatic characters. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that unpacks the mysteries and wonders of this timeless world. Until next time, Guardians of Middle-earth, Guardians of